Okay, question 1 is our scatter diagram question, and it says that it shows the price and age for each of 10 cars of the same make and model. Now part A asks us to write down the price of a new car. So a new car, if we've got the number of years old on the bottom, a new car must be when it's 0 years old. Now we can see on our graph that the dot for that is up there just above 6,000. So we need to know what those little squares are worth. So we know that halfway there between 6,000 and 4,000 is going to be 5,000. So then you've got 5 little squares from 5,000 up to 6,000. So if you think that's a gap of 1,000 and it's 5 little squares, then 1,000 divided by 5 gives us 200. So each little square is worth 200. So if we've gone up an extra 2 squares from 6,000, then that must be 2 lots of 200, which is 400. So the price of our new car must be 6,400. Now for part B, we're asked to write down the price of the oldest car. So if we look here, we've got the price of our car. Now we're going across the number of years old, so that's 4 years old, it's the oldest. And if we look at the price across the bottom, that gives us our £2,000. Now part C says draw by eye a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. It's 1 mark. So by eye means we can draw it not having to go through the mean point. So remember, when we're drawing by eye, we want roughly the same number of points either side, and we want it to follow the trend of our line. Now we want to draw it using a ruler. So there's no ruler on our Explain Everything app at the moment, so I'm going to try to do my best. So starting at the top, trying to balance it out so you've got as many points on either side, and using your ruler you may have something like that. So that is your 1 mark for part C. Then for part D, it asks you to write down the type of correlation shown by the scatter diagram. So our line is going down from top left to bottom right, so it's sloping downwards, we can see there. We know that if it's sloping downwards, that gives us a negative correlation. That's all we need to write for that 1 mark. Now the last part, part E, asks us to estimate the price of a 2.5-year-old car of the same mark and model. So looking at our graph and going across to 2.5 years, which is there, using your ruler, drawing straight up to your line, where it touches that line, then going straight across to your price axis. And if I'd done that perfectly, I think it would have gone exactly halfway between 2 and 4,000, and we know that that would have been £3,000. Now whatever you've drawn as your line of best fit, you need to write down that answer. So it doesn't matter if you're slightly off, the examiner will accept an answer will accept the answer that you have got from drawing up from 2.5 to touching your line and across. And they'll probably accept a few answers between about 2,600 and 3,200, and that gives you your final mark.